So we are going to deal with the chapter of anemia. Perhaps you have gone through other sort of anemia. So today we are going to deal with a different sort of anemia, that is megaloblastic and aplastic anemia. What is this? Let's come to the point now. So this is, as usual, everyone knows, outline, introductions, etiology, pathogens, and then so on and so forth. So we'll be dealing with accordingly. So let's introduction. What is megaloblastic anemia? So megaloblastic anemia is an anemia. This is a type of anemia that results from basically, if molecular level, you've got inhibition of DNA synthesis in red blood cells. No other blood cells also could be, but we have preferred anemia, so we use the red blood cells we're taking up, because DNA synthesis goes everywhere actually. Virtually all cells could be affected. And which is characterized by macrocyte, large size, RBC, and its precursors with signs of what? Basically, there is a nuclear DNA, is a nuclear material dismaturity will be seen. Incidence, if you look at the folate, 6.8, 12 incidence due to folate deficiency, vitamin B12 deficiency. These are some figures, 32% and more on the B12. So this both in 20%. This is the data of our neighbor country. Not in there. We don't have exact data. So who are in the risks? Of course, definitely, you know that vitamin B12 deficiency usually will have who are vegetarian. So vegan family, 3 to 5 years. This is your storage, 3 to 5 years. After that, if you don't take, then you will have some problem, because it should be supplemented. It cannot be synthesized in body, as you know. So this is reason why vegan are likely to. It does not mean that you have to eat the meat, but you should have proper choice of select of foods which contains vitamin B12. Prolonged breastfeeder. So what is that? Those are feeding on milk. Please mute your mic, please. Goat milk is fed on baby, are fed on the 2-3 months, and okay. For the duration, goat milk will cause folate deficiency. Some other drugs we are taking on the antimetabolite, like the methotrexate, sulfur drugs, which just interfere in the synthesis of DNA. We'll come to know how it will block. So PEM, that's of course malabsorptions, poor nutrition, malabsorption, or parasitic infections in the poor mother, nutritional status, and alcoholic. All these are the risk factors. Risk. So now we will just usually we are going to deal with the two most common causes, like the deficiency of what? Vitamin B12 and folic acid. So vitamin B12 and folic acid, some other rates sort of like the uric acid, urea, uric phosphorylated transfer. These are the enzymic, deficiency, which is a rare timing response, response to megaloblastic anemia, Leishman syndrome, hypoposin, ribosome transfer. These are the enzyme. Sometimes leads to megaloblastic sort of anemia, but we are looking at this two nutritional sort of vitamin B12 and folic acid. So basically, how this will. So mechanism behind it, how you will be impairment. Basically, impairment of these vitamins. Usually, either you are not taking properly. You should have taken adequate amount, intake problem, or you have taken properly, but you could have some absorption. It's not absorbed well into your body. Or conditions where the supply is less than demand is high, somewhere relative for conditions like high demand conditions, like a wheel company. Those are what are those, like the high cellular turnover condition like thyroid will come up to hyperthyroidism also. So mechanisms of deficiency like intake, I will mention about it, how it's food containing less vitamin B12, prolonged breastfeeder or vitamin B12, goat milk intake was already mentioned before, impaired absorptions like the GI problem, no GIT, gastrointestinal tract disease absorbs, you know the physiology. Problems like malabsorption syndrome, chronic diarrhea, celiac disease, terminal allergies like Crohn, okay, Crohn disease. What? Hello? You can hear me? Can you hear me or not? Or bit yes, fast?
Yes, sir.
Is it fast? Because I have the two topic I have to cover, no? So a bit fast. GIT problem related, you can relate with physiology like malabsorption, you are not absorbing, or celiac disease or Crohn disease, okay? These are terminalitis. Bowel rejections, where it does take place, terminality, vitamin B12 absorbs, or maybe some concurrent, okay? What? Parasitic manifestations like the Diphyllobothrium lata. This is fish tapeworm, okay? But this is fish tapeworm. And then H. pylori, GI. Please mute your mic, I think. Somebody is on the disturbing them. And then duodenal junctions and resultant GI disease is basically folic is absorbed there, okay? So that's what folic I've mentioned in bracket. Sometimes we have intrinsic factor, you know that absence of poor absorption or transport protein, transcobalamin deficiency, intrinsic factor in adult usually, okay? And there's a transcobalamin 7, these are the rare, that's likely. But you have to think on it. So now another section is utilization problem. You have taken adequately, okay, absorption also taken place, but not properly. Something that's interfering like the drugs, anticonvulsant drugs, antifolate drugs, we are taking like interferon and cobalamin, okay, or some congenital enzyme deficiency, we are not going to deal with. Utilization problem, drugs which interfere like phenytoin, phenobarbital, primary, or cytotoxic drugs like 6-methylphenidate or 6 TG, azithromycin. And these are the drugs we can interfere with the metabolic of DNA synthesis. And in which is about 5-fluorouracil or pyrimidine. These are the things you can write it down. Or antifolate in history, you can take in some methotrexate or dimethylpyridine or pyrimethamine. So these are the drugs that will interfere ultimately down to pharmacology. You have to revise. I will come to the biochemical section of the this one, synthesis of the DNA. So we will come to know where the interference will take place. 6, cobalamin, like then PAS, okay, metformin, this is cobalamin, that's vitamin B12. So this is what called, suppose you have adequate absorptions but not properly used, ultimately leading to again DNA synthesis problem. Now another is everything is fine but demand is quite high, like the infancy fast growing cells and turnover. Infancy growing, rapidly growing means of course you have the cell division should take place, which requires replication or DNA, everything, no? So high demand system, cells growing, which not meeting the enough. So there we have to folate, vitamin 2 should be in proper when supplemented at the given time. Hyperthyroid conditions mean hypermetabolic state, and hemolytic conditions, cells are destroying, fast destroying, and you have to repair. So for the repair, of course, you have to have what? Multiplication of cells, which requires working nuclear division and DNA, everything will be changed. No? So these are the conditions of demand, high demand conditions, relatively lead to low level of these vitamins, will leading to maybe megaloblastic anemia. So this is how the mechanisms, okay? Now how they will manifest you. Pathogens I have mentioned now for the pathogen, how, okay? You just go a little bit refresh your biological, okay, biochemistry or something, okay? Synthesis of the DNA or like. Folic acid, what will happen to them? Actually, we need the methyl tetrafolate, okay, for the DNA based synthesis like urine pyrimidine. So this is here the picture you go a little bit of, if you remember, dihydrofolate, we have. So okay, dihydrofolate reductase with the help of enzyme, they will go into tetrahydrofolate is needed. No? So folate is used for, finally we achieve this one, no? Tetra STF, which is further go to the TNF and 5-MeO methylizations and then 45-maltine, okay? Tetrahydrofolate. Finally, purine group synthesis of the purine type, okay? Based on purine synthesis, purines you need, the purine will get from this reaction. Okay, so folate is needed. Now this tetrafolate is very important. Okay, there's an enzyme deficiency, maybe interfering here. Okay, the drugs will interfere there, maybe here. So you are not getting this tetrahydrofolate. Absence of tetrafolate, you're not likely to go into this area, no, purine, and the DNA synthesis. So ultimately, cell replication will be hold somewhere. So this is vitamin B12. Okay, you know, vitamin B12 cobalamin is as cofactor, no? He's playing as methyl cobalamin is vitamin B12. So it's also cysteine, the cysteine. Okay, these are the reaction you if you go through there, biochemistry and methanion, and ultimately you will retrieve this one. 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate will change to tetrahydrofolate, and methane is changed. So methyl, which is methane synthesis. So this is the role of the vitamin B12 here, and the folate itself you need and a folate supplement diphosphorylated will change, and then tetrahydrofolate, and you will receive this one. So if something is wrong here, is mechanism like drugs or not supplemented. So you got the point how the cell will suffer from the replications. Now finally, if you don't have DNA, where it will get? Now this will less mitosis, less mitosis will be there. Okay, nuclear dismaturity, less mitosis, megaloblastic changes, precursors and RBC precursors become ineffective erythropoiesis will take place. Other cells will not, but we are talking about anemia, so this red blood is concentrated. So erythropoiesis will be ineffective with an active, but premature death will occur on decreased output of RBC from the marrow and leading to we have some sort of anemia. So DNA, how do you say DNA synthesis? They will arrest somewhere. The growth will arrest. Mitosis cycle you must be knowing G1, G2, G0. Okay, and from the G2 growth stage to mitosis won't take place. This is where they are stop. This leads to continuous cell growth, but without division. So it becomes macrocytes. Eucytes. It's not division is less. It's growing only. So it is macrocytes. So I have mentioned about virtually all cell lines could be affected. Pancytopenia sometimes. Sure, if DNA is not proper. But we are here talking about megaloblastic anemia because anemia is very prominently seen. So this is how the pathophysiology, or pathology on the basis. So if you want to see some pathological state, and like the megaloblastic is characterized by the large immature dysfunctional red blood cells, like megaloblastic oval cells. So diagnosis, actually for the diagnosis you can give one. This is hyperperipheral blood smell. You take hyper segmented, that's called neutrophil, we call it, more than 5 lobes. Of course it's segmented, but whenever it becomes more than 5 lobes, you see in the neutrophils, it hyper segmented, one of the region. Pathognomic picture for the megaloblastic when we take the blood and see peripheral smear. So this is about all the how the risk factors and all this and mechanism of megaloblastic size of RBC. Now how they will manifest it, that's about clinicians. So he is having some problem or she is having some problem with this vitamin B deficiency or folate deficiency. Now they will come to your clinic with some complaint. Now that maybe they could be non-specific in a sense. Anemia does have a little bit of non-specific and then some very specific iron has iron specific manifestations. Vitamin B12 or the folate could have some specific, so that it will help you to point out this anemia is likely to deficiency of vitamin B12 or rather than iron deficiency. Or maybe chronic diseases. So this is a megaloblastic anemia in as an MCV becomes high, megaloblastic side. So non-specific in a sense, any anemia you like the body is like looking at finding will be pallor, maybe anorexia, you don't want to feed, lassitude, easy fatigability, or irritability, maybe dizziness, tachycardia, like a palpitation you might have, or tachycardia, poor weight gain. Ultimately, supplements. This is a nutritional problem. So dizziness or something small baby won't thrive the way it should thrive and failure to thrive. These are some of general non-specific sort of manifestation during the anemic. So now if it is on the top of that, you now put questions like then ask the specific question. Neurological problem disorder there? Yes. Of course, there's a glossitis, icterius, stomatitis, hyperpigmentation, hyperdysmia 10 to 20%, petechiae, purpura 25 sometimes comes when your cell line goes down, like the platelet also affected, then bruising will easily. Pancytopenia features when there's bleeding, fever. This is quite advanced, okay, stage 1 treat. But here we can the neurological again. That's quite usually where severe combined, okay, degeneration we call it. In position vibrations and the problem will be having posterior column will be affected, dorsal and the lateral spinal or cortical tract. Especially this area will be very much affected. So it could be the earliest, okay, before the maybe sometimes they not come with the pallor, maybe some the neurological manifestation mean earliest one before the pallor means that. Before you notice, maybe they will come with complaint of neurological manifestations of like paresthesia, ataxia, ataxia, get instability or delayed developmental regression. Rarely seizure, but memory confusion. Maybe this neurology. Usually paresthesia and ataxia coming with the dorsal. Okay, that is column affected. Position vibrations. Okay, disorders. He or she might complain before what pallor present. So you neurologic. That is special. Not in iron deficiency. Okay, take this. So glossitis will be there. I mentioned about little bit actinitis, but not very well. Stomatitis. This could look for then hyperpigmentation, knuckle and pharynges. Little bit of hyperpigmentation in some cases, 20%. Fatigue mentioned about in the advanced you have fever, bleeding, everything. It's pancytopenia picture, which is aplastic lipids. It's quite very advanced. Now this is you make some idea about this anemia sort of is running with this patient. You take up the history of so many things are there. Of course, that's for the how you diagnose the complete history. You will ask what are the food taking, what are the risk factors. You will analyze physical exams finding, or this is this pallor and neurological any. And then laboratory you have to confirm it. Definitely now, how are you going to confirm? Of course, first you have to make some differential lab before you send some laboratory. Now, of course, you will send some macrocytes with different sites. Case aplastic anemia, Fanconi. This is diamond. That is clinical syndromic type of aplastic anemia. We have different, which has macrocytes. So chronic liver disease, hypothyroidism sometimes have macrocytes. MDS, you might want to written short form, that is myelodysplastic syndromes. Sometimes in HIV. Leukemia, okay. These are the law that when pancytopenia manifest, then you can write down okay this one. ITP, bleed maybe sometimes they come to you. Some hemorrhagic diathesis is prone to the hemorrhage. So this is the end, okay, but upper one is more likely to put in a differential diagnosis. Macrocytes, leukemia, ITP, these are late manifestations. So another is now what? Hematological, they are usually identical. We'll send an WBC or CBC, okay, complete blood count with CBC, DBC, okay, differential diagnosis, hemoglobin, okay, platelets, which sometimes show the pancytopenia sometimes, okay. RBC, you look at it, now you see the indices of them, that is MCV, okay. Mean corpuscular volume tends to be 10. Normally 80 to 100, that's a normal cytic. Now above this is macrocytes, it indicates. So more than 100 femtoliter. You have the okay, sideways answer. Microcytic, normocytic anemia, and then you can classify and then microcytic anemia. This comes under macrocytic, okay, anemia. So peripheral, I mentioned earlier. Peripheral blood smear, you take the microcyte or hypersegment neutrophil more than 5 lobes. Sometimes giant metamyelocyte within cytoplasmic vacuolations, especially for this one, folate one. Okay, if you want to get a folate, giant metamyelocyte with cytoplasmic vacuolations. Okay, reticulocytes because low. Okay, production is low. Then so for reticulocytes will just low number. Now, finally, ultimately, you put in confirm the diagnosis. This is said to some extent. Now, prove it. Now you will have do the level of vitamin B12 and then folic acid, which is not available in everywhere in some things. So we have to be clinical, and then those things will also support the macrocytic mix. But you have to confirm. Of course, you got to do what level of these vitamins. Now, sometimes these are the things, and now some special tests will be running causes like intrinsic deficiency, which is rare in children. Okay, that's pernicious anemia. Schilling test will be run. You should know that Schilling test, and then serum like the raised LGD, ineffective LD is raised, or maybe methyl malonic acid, MMA, homocysteine, they can be sent. Okay, ineffective erythropoiesis. urine you can change for the vitamin B12 MMA, that is simply mismailing. Okay, vitamin B12 can deficit. And then bone marrow. This is the last one, the bone marrow. Yeah, this bone marrow is not all necessary, but pancytopenia or something's coming, then you have to rule out other causes of pancytopenia. Maybe another like leukemia or maybe other hypoplastic anemia. To rule out, we sometimes we run bone marrow aspiration to see that marrow, what is there smear. Not always, but you have pancytopenia, then you have to rule out other causes of why pancytopenia. In that case, we might need bone marrow aspiration. So now another way is how you diagnose a therapeutic challenge. Then test dose, like hematological response will within 72 hours. If you give you the dose 1 to 5 microgram, okay, microgram per day of vitamin B12 to challenge, suppose then you don't have the level, okay, to confirm vitamin B12 in a remote areas. So you will say something 500 milligram day, and within 7 to see then what blood repeat, you see the hematological will be changing, okay, macro may be changing, hematocrit would be changing, hemoglobin may go up like this, which is changed in 72 hours. Okay, folate dose, these are the doses. Okay, how much you have to supply. If you folate 0.1 milligram per day, you should not be not more than that. If only you give then megaloblastic, you just give only above this one dose is folic acid only. Okay, only the folic acid you supplement. Hematology will correct. Okay, but may aggravate your neurological symptoms. So whenever you use, you have to combine it. A combination of the vitamins is better to supply. Don't alone. Okay, never treat alone unless it's confirmed. Okay, alone with the what folic acid. Okay, folic acid. So you have to combine. Otherwise, it will folate alone. What will happen? Aggravates neurological symptoms. Now the treatment, this is how you diagnose. Okay, you confirm it. This is therapeutic challenge and the mode of one way. There is no availability of your diagnostic test of vitamin B12 and folic acid. Then treatment, diet. Of course, you have to avoid all the aggravating factors that is possible. Okay, now management of identified causes. Try to find out any causes that be any drug or intake or food, vegetable, whatever. Find it on the supplements. Ultimately, you have to supply those vitamins which are not in adequate level. So parental supplements usually we have now urban is as a GI problem. If suppose GI related, then 1 gram, okay, milligram, that's 1000 microgram. 1 milligram IM, okay, intramuscular daily for 2 weeks, and then weekly until hematocrit will normalizes until then monthly once for life. For a maintenance client once. This is GI problem. In neurological manifestations, once a day for 2 weeks. This is how you then you once a day for 2 weeks, and 2 weeks for 6 months, and then monthly for thereafter. Monthly for thereafter for the life. It's long life. If suppose young infant comes, then reduce the dose 1/4 again 250 microgram can be given. Sometimes tremor, high dose may be given. Baby are likely to have tremors or EPS means extrapyramidal syndromes and also hyperkinetic movements are so neurological. So they will manifest. So dose should be 1/4 in smell. This is how the doses have been given for the duration and how long it should be supplemented. Oral and now the vitamin B12 metabolism. Folic acid another is oral. Okay. Parental supply both are there. Tablet again is 0.11, 1 milligram for 3-4 weeks, then multivitamin mix for 2.5 milligram maintenance you can give. It has very less adverse effect even in the high dose folic thing. For vitamin B12 you have some problem with extrapyramidal syndrome. Yes. So this is how you prescribe to your patient when you are diagnosed. Okay. Now this is some I mean summarizing. We are just this topic in summarizing in brief. So not cells of the topic. Vitamin B12 and folic acid is mainly to cause megaloblastic and other causes are there, but these are main causes. Proper nutrition. That's what proper nutrition is essential. There are so many identified causes or secondary causes. If you look into very rare occasions, they are like transcarbon 2 deficiency and some other enzymatic disorders. And then sometimes neurological, again, signs prior to hematological syndrome, okay, vibration, positions, ataxic gates may coming, or numbness, tingling in your body, may manifest before hematological. You got to keep this in mind. So what would be the differential diagnosis, the neurological differential diagnosis for the vitamin B12 deficiency? Is there a deficiency of leading this neurological field? You have to keep this in back of your mind. Okay, therapy is takes to be in a long life, vitamin B12, and usually is a good response again, and we have good outcome. This is about megaloblastic anemia due to those vitamin deficiencies we talked about, not all the sorts of causes. So we'll move on to the, if any, no questions, then I will, do you have any questions to ask? If there is, then I will explain. If then no, then we'll move to another topic, that would be aplastic anemia. Okay, anemia, this is different sort of an anemia now, because we must have gone through all the microcytic anemia. So this is aplastic anemia. The name itself, begin aplastic, something is not generating. Actually, aplastic does not absent one, and it's not aplastic in a sense. So I should say hypoplastic anemia, we can call it. Aplastic, so not generating in the bone marrow. Is usually bone marrow type of failure of the bone marrow, not generating your cell lines. Actually should be generated. You must be doing this all cells and bone marrow microenvironment, bone marrow stem cells, not differentiating into the way it should be differentiated. Something's wrong down in your factory. Okay. So aplastic anemia, the bone marrow synthesize every cells there, no? That is, I don't have to explain. Aplastic anemia now. The aplastic anemia is severe as a life-threatening symptoms. Okay, aplastic, sort of in which production of sometimes one or more line of the cells, erythrocyte, WBC, platelet, the 3 cells line has failed. So, and which is referred to aplastic sorts of things happening there. Aplastic, not generating, not in your peripheral blood, it's central where it is generated, or hematopoiesis goes on. Something's wrong there. Maybe the cause is different. We talk about. So characterized by peripheral. Hello. Which is characterized by? If you take the blood from the peripheral, they just look at pancytopenia. Okay. Not always, but pancytopenia features and accompanied by then. If bone marrow, you look at it, then on aspirate, and you see you might get it hypocellular bone marrow. So which correspond to the anemia. Something's wrong. Bone marrow is not generating. All ages groups, there's nothing in it. Both genders are equally affected. In a Western literature, it's quoted 1 to 2, 6, or 2 to 6 per million cases of. In the Western literature, it's been. So this is general classification in a way of an etiological point. How you can give like the idiopathic sort of aplastic, or acquired. You can do so many causes behind it. Okay. So etiological, you can idiopathic, I mentioned, etiological or classification, if you can classify like that. Idiopathic is mostly 90% of the case. We don't have cause. Idiopathic, you don't know. I don't know actually. That means this is just a diplomatic word. Idiopathic, I don't know. Okay, we don't know. Mostly more than 90% of the case, we don't have actually why it's happening in aplastic. But there are some constitutional or inherited disorder also does exist, like the Fanconi anemia. You must have heard. There's a bone marrow failure, familiar aplastic anemia, subsets of again Fanconi anemia, dyskeratosis congenital sort. These are the inherited sorts of disorders. Schwarzman, diamond blackfin, okay, thrombocytopenia and absent redimer tar, megakaryocytic thrombocytopenia, others like Down syndrome also does have something, Duovich, Seckle, Noonan syndrome. These are syndromic along with anemia, okay, aplastic sort of anemia which come to along with. So these are constitutional inherited disorders. These are genetically determined sometimes. But usually, what is the cause? Like we don't have straightforward causes. Most of the cases, that should be kept in back of your mind. So acquired, you can say like ionizing radiations which happens in the DNA, okay, some cellular stroma cell and which in the bone marrow environment will install by the like ionizing some. If you give them more than 300 to 500, okay, rads doses, it can completely wipe out your bone marrow. So it's lethal doses. So sometimes we have radiation out there, therapy that, but it should be so sub-lethal doses. So can bone marrow can recovers, okay, can recover. Should be high dose. Chemical agents like you can increment like the benzene ring, chemotherapy agents, and certain insecticides could get to some problem with your bone marrow environment. So idiosyncratic, we don't have like the reactions like the drug, especially you must be knowing that the chloramphenicol or Kernagin, this will happen unexpectedly, okay? We'll have some aplastic crisis. And other infections you can disorders like the acquired like the virus, parvo, and so different. The 19 B binding aplastic, okay, hepatitis B, C, HIV, stomach virus, could also give rise to suppression of the bone marrow. So pathology in the primarily, what will happen? Ultimately, reduction in or depletion of hematopoietic precursor stem cells. Stem cells which gives the hematogenesis. So this will affect there. So this will decrease production of cell lines, and that will lead to the pancytopenia cell line. But all cell line could be, or which one is more affected? Okay, sometimes all cell lines, or maybe two cell lines, or one cell line. Pancytopenia. Cytopenia, maybe pan or maybe diabetes. But due to, so maybe this is leading to due to quantitative or what happened. I've mentioned about all these factors playing a role. Qualitative or quantitative damage to pluripotent stem cell, your stem cell qualitative content, a viral toxin also mentioned about. So resulted abnormal maybe hormonal regulations and the stem cell regulations are renewing and they have some specific regulation. Defect, these are all the postulations that can increment, but it's exactly how does it happen? Is in this pinpoint. So defective bone marrow environment from cellular to humoral and immunosuppressions of the hematopoiesis. So these are the gene mutations could be there. So these are some points again increment also and this development of pancytopenia. So bone marrow stem cells, renal cell maybe here one disorder because of all those acquired environment disorder, or maybe here stromal cells and bone microenvironment disturbed is producing cytokines for the these cells may proliferation differentiation maybe taking place. So this is diagrammatical I'm showing this very rough diagram. It's not in a detail like which cells are in an article. It's like hematology. So from there the proliferations and the differentiation will not take then away. Of course you know it what will happen. Then the red blood cells and less blood cells, WBC less, RBC platelets, which are the three cell lines, will be affected either maybe RBC alone, some disease will come with the diamond black vein syndrome, we call it pure red blood dysplasia, or maybe WBC or platelets sometimes. So the clinical picture will be accordingly anemia or maybe infection or bleeding. No, platelets bleed. So this, if you take a bone marrow and you see that this is aplastic anemia, this which is replaced by the fat cells. These are fat cells, and these are the cells very scanty numbered cells. Actually, should be very abundant, but he is replaced by the fat cells. This is a bone marrow chip. When you look at the bone marrow, on the microscope and staining, they see there is no very scant amount of cells are being generated in the marrow. But these are the big white cells. That is fat cells replaced by the fat cells. So virtually it's non-functioning, educated and level. So now, of course now the clinical manifestation I've mentioned some anemia has its own sort of like a pallor you can detect on examination, maybe fatigue may complain. Okay, sometimes high output, failure like palpitations and heart failures. Of course now infection, petechiae, or mucosal bleeding I've mentioned about that because of WBC goes go down in certain level, you could have easily infection. Petechiae, or that is platelet, you see the spotted on mucosal bleeding. Now in small children, you have to small childhood aplastic anemia has to be. You must pay attention to other physical findings, not only pallor, okay, like glossitis also like, but here some physical abnormality in an irritable pattern like stature, short stature, any limbs are deformed like polydactyly, okay, these are some skin pigmentations or anemia is there, but besides there any physical findings. in a sense, syndromic point of view, short stature, limbs are deformed, or maybe some skin unusual, pigmented, and so on. You have to look at it then, so that we can combine this some syndromic conditions we'll be discussing in a subsequent slide. So related disorder, or these are like you can other like myelofibrosis anemia, myelodysplasia. This also gives rise to sometimes peripherally you will have some what pancytopenia. So you have to differentiate sometimes myelocystic anemia, myelodysplastic syndrome, hypersplenism also lead to pancytopenia. It's not marrow failure, but it's peripherally disrupt. Okay, destruction leading to like the CRF erythropoietin is not kidney level. You don't have cell down. Maybe the chronic okay RF, that's erythropoietin is absent, but not RBC generated. SLE sometimes may break down all the cells, pancytopenia. These are could be the differential diagnosis, okay? Or vitamin B12 deficiency and already in extreme conditions you might have. Now all the cells are not start generating pancytopenia, but it's not a marrow failure. There's other condition that could give rise to pancytopenia peripherally. Okay, there is a peripheral pancytopenia condition you have. You must differentiate. It's not a bone marrow failure. It is peripherally reflecting some disorders. I was saying now another reason, single cell diamond Blackman phenotype. This is not pleasurable. Okay, this is pure red cell aplasia will come out. Diamond Blackman syndrome we call it. Now this is sometimes we call it pure red cell. Only the pure red cell aplasia. And the pure red cells RBC only selectively. Selectively decrease in erythroid precursor. Erythroid precursor. When you know the diagram now, there are some precursors from the stems. So there's selectively. Why? How? It's nobody knows. But it is okay. Erythroid precursors in the bone marrow. WBC and the platelets are unaffected in this case. So these are generically sporadic sort of, not epidemic. Maybe transmission, like a genetical inheritance could be like inheritable. That's why autosomal sometimes or sometimes auto resistant. It's not clear, but autosomal. Early infancy, so patient may come to early infancy, okay, 3 years, and they have pain, okay, or maybe pale, okay, one of the difference, pale, okay, early infancy. Now, here's one point is stigma you can see. That's what I'm mentioning about. Look at the physical find. Short stature babies, right? Short stature according to the age is not up to short stature. Triphalangeal thumb. Thumb doesn't have the tri, bite, but it's triphalangeal thumb. If you look at it, get it flattened, okay, somewhere thinner, you know the anatomy thinner, which is eminence is flattened, actually it's a little bit up, okay, it's not a flattened. So flattened thinner eminence. If you look at the eyes, or white side eyes, okay, white side the bridge and the white side gap, okay, these eyes are set a little bit far away from each other. White side eyes, thick upper. So these are some you got to look at the base idea is don't go only by the pallor only. Is there any inheritable pattern does exist in children, especially in children when you look at the anemia or plastic sort of anemia happening, you should not forget. Keep this back in mind. Look for the other stigmata, okay? So they could establish the diagnosis. For example, diabetes. Example, you can have Diamond Blackman syndrome, DBS, Diamond Blackman syndrome. Actually, pure red cell aplasia this one. So this sort of you say if you diagnose likely to develop risk develop say AML later on like MDS, okay, AML, okay, leukemia, myelodysplastic syndrome, even bone osteosarcoma developing later on like. But there is no specific treatment, but we just give some steroid treatment with that some favorable outcome. So this is sort. Now another is these two syndromic diseases you must go through. Another most common incident that is Fanconi anemia. Fanconi anemia. So how do it is an inheritable disorders. Actually, it's autosomal, okay, recessive in characters. Anemia, how they will present. Of course, we are dealing with anemia. When is it pallor? Okay, anemic. The patient is anemic. Pallor, you check. But there you see something. I will mention skin pigmentation. There are some pigmentation which is unusual, dark. See, babies. What does you? How do you see the baby? Height is shorten, abnormality, and looks something there's a palate. Thumbs, absence of thumb. Sometimes we'll have, okay. Polydactyly, maybe a person can say short stature. Look now, skin pigmentation, 60 you were looking, and anemia, short stature. Oh, should I think of something different? That's anemia, aplastic sort of anemia. But is a Fanconi anemia? Absence polydactyly, or one kidney or one horseshoe kidney if you do it. Huh? Yes, you may get in a horseshoe kidney. DDS means in developmental dysplasia of hip, sometimes in hip area, developmental dysplasia of congenital. Okay, this area, hip area, slip disc. So that is developmental dysplasia of hip, congenital and dislocation of hip. That's not dislocation. Now this we call it. Some might have cardiac congestion. So basically, you look at it, skin pigmentation, short stature with anemia, and any thumb abnormalities. Can I label it as a what? Fanconi anemia? It's a aplastic sort of. So how will you, this is about, now finally you got to establish the diagnosis, proper history, and you cannot escape. That is the first way to, and you are in the same process, taking history and physical examination, and of course now followed by your differential diagnosis, which I mentioned earlier. Okay, you have to all the differential diagnosis of pancytopenia peripherally. Okay, and then those CBC, pancytopenia, you see relatively lymphocytes. Sometimes you can see RBC indices will be in saint. Okay, somebody usually there's a, this is aplastic phenomena. It doesn't have megaloblastic. Usually we'll have unless item, otherwise what normocytic sort of. There's nothing to do. Reticulocyte may be corrected when big bone marrow is not functioning well, then it is corrected version. There's non-corrected and corrected. You can correct it using the formula. When there are different conditions which will just hematocrit and all this will affect. So corrected version, we see that less than 1% will get. The value will be less than 1%. Reticulocyte. What's the reticulocyte? The reticulocyte, you know, from the, this is a baby erythrocyte. This is just precursors. That before it becomes RBC with the reticulocytes, you know, it's not. No new. It indicates what? It indicates the state of your functional state of your bone marrow. This is functioning well, then it will just generate retics comes on the peripheral. Okay, this is central or peripherally also. You can see reticulocytes. That's what it reflects your bone marrow. The state of the bone marrow is functioning, under functioning, or over functioning, like the hemolytic cases. You can get reticulocytosis because the bone marrow is now producing to compensate your destruction of your RBC, hemolytic anemia, for example. So peripheral blood smear we can have occasionally, again, not normocytic, occasional macro, but normally I've mentioned about this normocytic sort of thing. Now finally you have to establish diagnosis. You take some bone marrow aspirations, and what will I have mentioned already. This is a hypocellular, okay, hypocellular. It's what I've showed in the slide. Replaced by fat cell and some lymphocytes, which is scant in amount dispersed in the bone marrow. So when bone marrow aspiration, you will find that. Now there are other conditions that give like some aplastic sort of anemia, like paroxysmal nocturnal hematuria. That's a Ham's test will be done in RBC lines by the acidified patient. Serum, serum or sucrose hemolysis test that can be run for that, and the marker like the CD55, and the CD95 on the RBC membrane can be set. So this is PNH, so sort of type you suspect aplastic anemia, you can say this one. Now another is aplastic anemia, especially when you want to do it, like you have to send a chromosomal breakage test, we call it, and these are the tests for the, if you suspect Fanconi test, send the chromosomal breakages. Okay, these are fragile with the breakage. So these are the chemicals that used for this test. It will easily break some more points. So fragility, they will give you the sub result of the chromosomal breakage. Even for the normal physical appearance, you have to have some suspect. Then you send a chromosomal breakage. Not all physical manifestation will not be there or something. So So you have to think this one. What is the test? And chromosomal breakage test. Okay. And for the aplastic anemia, macrocyte and fetal hemoglobin raised in waves and on pure rates of aplasia or diamond blackfan syndrome. Sometimes you have to macrocyte. That's why sometimes some periphery smell you have macrocytes in innocent. Back black like diamond blackfan will have sometimes macrocyte. Otherwise normal side most of the time. Okay, aplastic is nothing to change in the size of the RBC, but diamond and fetal hemoglobin is slightly raised. But which again it is not a specific for the dynamic, but it gives an indirect marker, diamond blackfan. So now, how you differentiate? Differential diagnosis, of course, inherited. Usually, if it's idiopathic, we don't have any cause. It's inherited family history or some physical eczema. Look for that. That's other. Now, acquired someone, then you have to sue for that. Any acquired usually in childhood or adulthood. You will acquire. So, acquired will differential diagnosis like could have infection, like the HIV. You have to rule out. It's a drug history. Look for the chloramphenicol or cytotoxic antifolate. What you have to take. Syndromes have to look for any Fanconi, discovered I mentioned, diamond blackfan, any pictures. Transient erythroblastic anemia. There's okay. Childhood, connective tissue disorders, especially in SLE. This pancytopenia pictures are not a bone marrow, but pancytopenia. Paroxysmal nocturnal hemorrhage, PNS. Okay, you can send the test we had mentioned. Hamstays, or maybe those are CT55. You can send to confirm. And then megaloblastic. These are the tests you can in back of your mind to rule out. If you have all been nothing is found, then definitely you will have some from aplastic anemia, which doesn't have specific cause. Idiopathic. So ultimately, what you have to do, of course, if it is possible to try to identify traceable causes, you try to put it. But most of the time, which is non-existent. So ultimately, you have to treat. You have to. What do we have to do? There's nothing is in the blood, then you have to transfuse. Transfuse the B. This supportive treatment. Okay, first transfusions, supportive broad with a broad spectrum antibiotic because sometimes you go then cell level goes so down that WBC will go down. So not able to fight with the diseases and infection special. So especially neutropenia will occur. No, neutropenia is the first. Okay, your warrior to come to them. War zone or the fighting place. So we need to increase granulocyte. Okay, coronary we can drug, you can get filgrastim. You must have gone through in the pharmacology. Okay, it's a Neupogen. This is a brand name. It's not necessary. Filgrastim and 5 milligram per kg per neutropenia that we can give the but don't use for the prolonged usage. So okay, malignant transformation again, but acutely you have to raise and you have to give this one. Okay, when the neutrophil goes below in a certain level like 500 or absolute neutrophil count, which is very and first your warrior, eliminating the pathogens. Infection will overwhelm, sepsis may go into sepsis. So bone marrow transplant. Okay, that's the gold standard. If you offer to, that's it. You have to with the gold. So bone marrow transplant is a hematopoietic stem cell transplant. Okay, you have to autologous or allogeneic type of you can use. Depends on autologous or allogeneic. The criteria of if patient is very young, severe sort of aplastic anemia, let's say, like if you take the ANC means absolute neutrophil count. You must be knowing that's when WBC. There are some neutrophil, lymphocytes, and immunocytes. That's 5 different granules. Okay, these are the cells. This cells, if you take the neutrophil and absolute counting, less than 500 of total WBC. It's a severe aplastic anemia. Platelets way below 20,000 is likely to be very difficult. Sometimes spontaneous bleeding will start so below 10, 20. And match again, of course, which is not a name. But match-related sibling is important here. Okay, you might not get something match. HLA typing is necessary. So those who cannot afford, of course, you have some low-tech with medicine that's anabolic storage, oxymethylone. Sometimes you use or danazole, or sometimes 1 milligram per kg per day with a small dose of glucocorticoid for Fanconi.
Though everyone can't afford all those treatment we can prescribe, but our choice up to you. Okay. If you're not allowed, then you have this choice is left with this anabolic steroid or methyl, oxymethylone sometimes in coming with small doses. Okay, just is prolong the disease treated. So another thing is, and severely comes in bleeding, everything you don't have one, you will do pulse therapy, which is called high dose of methyl milligram per kg per day for 1 to 3 days, and then reduce gradually 25 for 7 days and 4 IMG. This is okay. Methyl prednisolone high pulse therapy you should keep in mind. And then how is it given? This is you don't have to copy exactly. You can get it from. So the principle should be treatment should be clear. So high doses and given in short period of time to stabilize. So with maintenance of likeness 1.1 milligram up to 38% response rates reported. That is response is win. Another drug is that can anti-thymocyte globulin, okay, ATG, or anti-lipocytic globulin, which can be given in, but not in MDS or PNH or 3 weeks with 40 mg. This is a doses, and you can copy from other textbook 40 milligram 4 days or 50 milligram for 10 days, and then 3 weeks, and then 6 months. Okay, 3 to 6 month response per cyclosporin. Side effect of this drug is self-adjusted, like MDS, PNH, okay, and then contraindication for the, especially we don't use for the finger. So gene therapy is left. None other options is that's that for advanced one. This is still underway. We don't have any. Maybe coming soon. So hopefully, future. Prognosis looking at the disease and how the result will be like, the outcome will be like. The severity of pancytopenia depends on time. Okay, morbidity and mortality due to pancytopenia activities. So infection, sepsis, okay, cardiac failure, severe anemia, or maybe bleeding, uncontrolled bleeding like that came down as intracranial bleeding, or suddenly platelet weight gone down so low that suddenly bleed like 10,005. So all cells could virtually affected. So clinical infection, severe anemia, CCF, and then bleeding. 60 to 80% of the long-term survive if you do BMT, okay, bone marrow transplant. So this is ultimate choice we are left with, but unfortunately, it's not an access to everyone. Okay, it's not accessible to. So that's the fact. So here we end. I think summary of this at the end. This topic. What is this? Reduced production of one or all cell due to different causes. Most of the time,